Hi guys, it's Tara and welcome back to Crafting with Curly Cues. I don't want anyone to get too excited, but this is my second video in 2 weeks, so maybe I'm actually back. So today I'm going to be using this adorable Sushi Date stamp set that I got from MFT, and when I purchased it, I had this very card in mind for one of my absolute best friends on the planet. Her and I go get sushi all the time, and she's the only person I ever eat sushi with, so I knew I had to get this set and make a card for her. So for my background, I'm going to be using some sour apple cardstock from My Favorite Things, and I cut it out using a stitched rectangle die from Avery Elle there. And then I'm just going to go ahead and use some perfect pearls to create a really shimmery, fun gold background. So I'm using the little bamboo image, and I'm just going to stamp it in Versamark ink, just as though I were going to heat emboss this all over my background. And then I'm going to take my perfectly dry brush that comes with the perfect pearls, and I'm just going to generously apply the gold perfect pearls over the top of those bamboo shoots. And I just did that over the whole background. Super, super simple, you guys. This goes really fast. And then I took just a dry paper towel and brushed off the excess perfect pearls, and then spritzed it just a tiny, tiny bit with my mini mister. And that just kind of, the water kind of sets those perfect pearls in so that background's not going to move. So it was a super easy, super quick, like really fun, big impact kind of background. Perfect pearls are so shiny and amazing and fabulous, and I do not use them nearly enough. So anywho, moving right along, I'm going to do some masking here to create kind of a little scene on that sushi tray. So I just marked with my pencil like how big the tray is on my cardstock here, and now I'm going to do some really simple, fun masking with all these little sushi elements that come in this stamp set. So the big thing to remember when you're doing masking like this is that the things that you want to be in the foreground, like the front of your scene, you want to stamp those first. So I want like the little wasabi chunk to be in the front of the tray, and then I want this little sushi with the shrimp on top to be in the front. So I'm going to stamp those little items first. And then for my masking, I'm literally using just the sticky strip on a regular plain sticky note. And I got all of my masks out of this one sticky strip of sticky note. So be creative. Like if you don't have fancy masking paper, that's totally fine. You don't need fancy masking paper to do masking. You can totally just use a sticky note. And had my images been a little bit bigger, I would have just put part of them on the sticky part, and that would have been fine for the masking that I'm doing. Like it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm not in this case like inking over the top of my mask, so it totally would have been fine if it didn't stick the entire way down. So I am now, like, once things are masked, I can then go ahead and stamp the images that would sit behind those ones that I put in the front. So I have this other little sushi and then my soy sauce. And then I am masking everything because then on top of everything that I stamped, I'm going to do the little tray so that it looks like they're sitting on top of this adorable little tray. So then the magic happens when you get to peel your masks off and you see, like, look how cute this little gathering is on this little sushi tray. So super, super fun. And it was just like a nice and simple, like, baby scene that I created, but you could absolutely do this masking with like bigger images and create like big giant scenes that way too. So just something fun to do. So I am using Copics to color these images in really quick. I did my stamping on some Neenah 110 pound solar white cardstock, and I stamped with Simon Says Stamp Intense Black ink. That's my favorite paper ink combo to use with Copic markers. And then I'm just going to go ahead and color these in. So I apologize, the lighting is not amazing in this particular video. I live in Oregon, and it is like, in spite of being springtime and such, it's dreary like all the time. And I try to catch the windows of like perfect sunshine to film. But hey, as we know, my schedule is hectic and I just got to take what I can get. So unfortunately, you got overcast evening in Oregon lighting here for your Copic coloring, so I'm sorry about that. But these images are super tiny, so this came together really quickly. I'm just sticking kind of to trying to make this look semi-realistic for, you know, cartoon sushi and like wasabi and whatnot. But I'm only using maybe a couple different colors per image. I'm not doing anything crazy. Like I said, they're pretty tiny little images, so it doesn't really matter if you do like amazing, super fancy, or if you just kind of go with a couple different shades because they're just small enough that it doesn't quite matter a ton. So for my soy sauce here, I was using the warm grays, and then I kind of decided like once it was all colored in that I didn't feel like it looked soy saucy enough. So I came back over it with a brown marker, and I feel like, because I feel like soy sauce is like more brown than black. So I went over it with the brown, and to me that made it a little bit more of an authentic soy sauce look. So, you know, just play with those Copics. You just never know what you're going to get when you combine different colors. And so it doesn't hurt. Like, who cares, right? If the brown had just blended in, then hey, I ended up with gray soy sauce. And I'm sure that my friend would have loved the card just as much with gray soy sauce as with brown. So I wanted this little tray to be red, but I will be 100% honest with you guys. Reds are kind of tricky for me. Like, I feel like I can't ever get the shading quite right, and if I do get the shading right on a red, I've probably put so much ink on my paper that I am like saturating the heck out of it, and it tends to bleed. So I was trying to be really careful with my reds because I didn't want, since these images are so tiny, if it starts to bleed even a little bit, it kind of takes over. So but I was able to get a good shade of red that I wanted there, and it matches my red cardstock that I'm using in my like sentiment strips here. So that was kind of my goal with the red. So I fussy cut that whole little tray out, and I lined the edges with some black soot distress marker. And now I'm going to create my sentiment. So I'm going to use Perfect Pearls to do my sentiment also. So this is something that I really like to do. I feel like it's different. You just don't see that done very much. Like, I could have heat embossed it, but I wanted it to match the background. So I was like, why not? So you can see I just once again stamp with Versamark and just give a nice generous helping of the Perfect Pearls over the top of the sentiment, and you get a nice, beautiful, shiny sentiment. So now I'm just going to go ahead and build my card. I have a piece of vellum that I cut out with a Pretty Pink Posh stitched hexagon die. And I just kind of put that slightly over the side of my background there. And then I'm using a piece of black cardstock to create like a little table for my little sushi tray to sit on. And then I'm going to put this red cardstock with the sentiment right underneath it. And this cardstock matches my little sushi tray like almost spot on. So it worked out really well. So I'll just trim off the excess there. And then I'll go ahead and pop up my little sushi tray with some, oh my goodness, what is that called? Foam tape. My brain's like all over the place. I just got over a really bad cold like last week. It was not a fun week for me, y'all, but I'm finally feeling a little bit human again. So anyway, I think I lost some brain cells in the process. So I popped that up, and then I realized afterwards that I probably should have adhered this to the front of my card before I popped it up, but that's okay. It's not too popped up, so it's totally fine. Just place that panel on the front of my card, and it is all set. So you can see the beautiful shimmer and shine you get with that Perfect Pearls background. I did put some glossy accents on top of my little soy sauce off screen, and I added a couple black enamel dots. So thank you guys so much for watching. Here's a couple more videos if you want to check those out. You can go ahead and hit subscribe if you'd like to see more videos in the future. And thank you guys so much. I'll see you next time. Bye.